There is a force within every man that cannot be tamed by external rewards, punishments, or praise. It is the inner will, the fire of choice, alignment, and purpose. When it is misaligned, life feels chaotic, aimless, and powerless. But when it recalibrates, when it remembers its true direction and anchors itself in the wisdom of sexual energy, everything changes. The world becomes clearer, distractions fall away, and power surges through every action. This inner will is not given to you. It is forged, shaped by disciplined vision and sacred conservation of your vital life force, your sexual energy. Before a man's will recalibrates, it often must collapse. He must see the lie he's been living. When sexual energy is wasted, poured out aimlessly through addiction, casual indulgence, and fantasy, a man fragments. His focus, drive, and clarity become distorted. He is no longer living from within. He is reacting to a world that manipulates his lower instincts. This is a state of disconnection. Pornography, lust without reverence, and compulsive ejaculation all train the will to serve pleasure instead of purpose. These are not harmless indulgences. They are rituals of disempowerment. Each act of unconscious release weakens the integrity of the inner man. Over time, the fire will becomes dim, unfocused, and scattered. To recalibrate is to first see the damage. It's to wake up in a wreckage of wasted potential and say, no more. It is to declare that your energy will no longer be spent feeding illusions. It will be used to build your reality. The inner will is the part of you that can override instinct. It is your ability to choose discipline over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and mission over impulse. This will is the command center of your being. When sexual energy is retained, respected, and redirected, the inner will becomes razor sharp. It strengthens. Why? Because semen is not just physical fluid. It is your essence, your blueprint, your vitality. When conserved, it nourishes the nervous system, sharpens focus, deepens presence, and empowers thought. Think of your will like a compass. Sexual energy is a magnetic field it aligns with. When that field is polluted by addiction, overstimulation, and waste, the compass spins erratically. But when sexual energy is conserved and honored, the magnetic field becomes clean. The compass points true north. That's recalibration. Recalibration of the will begins with reclaiming your sovereignty. This means taking full command of your mind, body, and energy. Too many men live in servitude to their urges. They call it freedom, but it's enslavement. The man who cannot say no to temptation is not free. He is possessed. Your sexual energy is not random. It is deeply intelligent. When harnessed, it becomes a voice within, guiding you toward growth, creation, and mastery. But you must listen. You must become still enough, disciplined enough, to hear its direction. The sovereign man doesn't chase women, pleasure, or validation. He commands his energy and lets the world align with his frequency. His inner will recalibrates not just once, but daily. Through practices like semen retention, meditation, and focused action, he returns to the center, his throne. Once your inner will begins to recalibrate, you must learn the art of redirection. Sexual energy is explosive. When left unchecked, it seeks release. But when directed, it fuels creation. This is the secret of the masters, artists, leaders, warriors. They use the same energy others waste to build legacies. Redirection means taking that urge to release and choosing instead to build, move, write, speak, train, or plan. It means transmuting energy upward, from the root to the crown. The energy that once pulled you down into your lower nature now lifts you into vision, purpose, and spiritual awareness. When you wake up with sexual energy surging, don't suppress it, channel it. Let it fuel your workout, your writing, your business. Let it make your eyes sharper and your voice stronger. Let it guide you into full masculine expression, not as lust, but as leadership. Think of willpower like a muscle. It strengthens with use, but it also needs the right fuel. Sexual energy is that fuel. When you deplete your sexual energy, willpower weakens. Every decision feels heavier. Every distraction is harder to resist. But when you store and circulate that energy, decision-making becomes clean. Focus sharpens. Confidence rises. You begin saying no to the things that drain you and yes to the things that build you. You become unshakable, not because you remove temptation, but because you become too focused to care. This is the man whose inner will has recalibrated. He does not negotiate with mediocrity. He does not chase the fleeting. He has tasted power, and he refuses to trade it for temporary pleasure. Sexual energy, when aligned, becomes a compass. It reveals what resonates with your soul and what doesn't. A recalibrated will begins to discern more clearly what drains versus what builds, what's authentic versus what's performative, what's rooted in truth versus what's rooted in illusion. For example, after weeks of retention, you begin to notice how certain environments feel repelling. Some conversations feel like they leak energy. Some women no longer attract you unless they reflect your higher self. That's not arrogance, it's alignment. Your energy is too sacred to waste on misaligned frequencies. That's the recalibrated man. He no longer lives by default. He lives by divine direction. When your inner will recalibrates, women no longer become the goal. They become the mirror. The man stuck in lust sees women as objects to conquer. The recalibrated man sees them as reflections of his energy. He knows that what he attracts is a direct reflection of who he is becoming. If you are leaking energy, addicted to dopamine and chasing validation, you will attract chaos. But when you are disciplined, clear, and rooted in purpose, you'll attract women, or better yet, a woman, who reflects your sovereignty. This shift is profound. You move from external seeking to internal alignment. You stop begging for love and start embodying it. And this magnetizes everything you once chased. When a man's inner will is recalibrated through sexual energy, he becomes a revolutionary force. He no longer plays by the rules of a distracted, pornified, and weakened world. He rewrites them. He no longer compromises his energy for shallow pleasure. He no longer conforms to a culture of spiritual castration. Instead, he lives lit by an inner fire, focused, fertile, and free. He becomes a man whose presence speaks louder than his words. The man whose gaze pierces illusion. The man who others watch, wondering, what is he tapped into? The answer is simple. He's tapped into himself. He has recalibrated. He has remembered. He has chosen power over pleasure, creation over consumption, legacy over lust. Your inner will is not broken. It's just waiting for your return. It's waiting for you to reclaim your sexual energy, to stop leaking your power into temporary highs, and arise into your full masculine charge. This journey isn't about suppression. It's about redirection. It's about walking to the fire of desire and coming out forged in purpose. Let your sexual energy teach you. Let it refine you. Let it become the force that leads your will back to alignment. Because once it recalibrates, you will no longer beg for life to change. You will become the change. And in that moment, the world will feel it. Subscribe to this YouTube channel.